Hello, people of God and our Western parishes, and welcome to this week's Quick Things, which most importantly includes a conversation with someone I will introduce shortly. I'll be talking to him all the way from South Sudan. One interesting little fun fact is as soon, or 5 minutes actually, after we finished recording this Zoom conversation, the electricity went out and he emailed me 48 hours later, and that's by using a generator because he said they still didn't have electricity in the compound house where he was staying. So anyway, I hope you enjoy the conversation. It's what I would call an important conversation. Someone who has offered a profound witness, someone who I greatly admire, and I hope you'll appreciate what he has to say as well. Just a couple things though. Pope Leo has asked that all of us, including communities, pray the Rosary each day of October, the month of the Rosary, dedicated to the Rosary, but in this October especially to pray each day for peace in our world. And so the Rosary will be prayed at noon daily, including Saturday and Sunday, at St. Anne at noon. So if you're able to take a break at lunchtime or from your usual routine and gather to pray the Rosary every day or once in a while, remembering that that will be happening every day, 7 days a week at noon, praying the Rosary for peace. This coming Sunday is our afternoon session of inquiry for people who are interested in becoming Catholic, people who are interested in learning about Jesus, maybe becoming a Christian, people who are Catholic but haven't been confirmed. We hope you'll gather with us at 1 o'clock Sunday at St. Michael in the gathering space there. No pressure, no commitments. It's a program, a gathering of inquiry at 1 o'clock on Sunday. Also, I jumped ahead a little bit. On Saturday, we have our blessing of pets and animals. That'll be at 10:30 Saturday morning on the south lawn along Steuben Street, along the south side of St. Michael's. If there's rain, we'll gather under the carport at St. Michael. Again, bring all animals. Everyone is welcome at 10:30 on Saturday. And then a week from 2 weeks from, basically 2 weeks from now, I can't think of the date, October 15th, 14th, 15th, something like that, maybe the 16th, that weekend, Bishop Battersby is inviting folks to gather for prayer as part of the Jubilee year, an afternoon of hope. It will be at 2 o'clock at St. Michael's, or, oh my goodness, 2 o'clock at Church of the Resurrection, time of adoration before the Blessed Sacrament. Father James Krasinski, a pastor at St. Olaf in Eau Claire, will be offering a presentation. There'll be an opportunity for the Sacrament of Reconciliation as well. So we hope you'll gather with the bishop for that time of prayer. I'll have more precise information in the email and in next week's Quick Things. If you think I may have been maybe I was off in many other details regarding that, but it is coming up the middle Sunday of October. Also, remember our Share Sunday collection of October is underway. These first 2 Sundays of October, gathering items that are being collected this month by the Knights of Columbus. We're joining in their collaborative effort, gathering items for the baby's place at the neighbor's place. You can see the list of items in the Quick Things email. And now, this week's important Quick Things conversation.
I'm very grateful and eager to talk to Gabe Hurrish. The name may be familiar to some of our parishioners because I have included some of Gabe's reflections in our bulletin over the past few years as he's been working as a missionary in South Sudan and sharing wonderfully some of the experiences that he's had there. Wonderful experiences and some challenging experiences as well.
Good and bad, yeah.
And so I thought it was an important way for us to share or to get an awareness of someone from central Wisconsin who is living the gospel in such a substantial and profound way, and to just have a better sense of how the church exists in various parts of the world. Gabe, so first of all, thank you for talking with me, and
You're welcome.
For your witness as well.
Praise the Lord.
Yeah, right. Tell us a little bit about your story. So you originate from Portage County. Just tell Millcrest.
Okay, born and raised in Stevens Point. Went through school, went off to university, and was in the coaching world of football and moving up rapidly, and The Spirit called me out of that, and I ended up joining Peace Corps. I was inspired by my great uncle, who was a third order regular Franciscan. He had served in India and Brazil for 32 years. So I ended up going over to Kenya first, Africa, and then the past 33 years, I've been in 11 different countries, all different kinds of situations, different organizations, different work. And I'm presently now in South Sudan teaching at a parish mission.
Different countries and different continents.
Yes, yes. All
So
continents except
Antarctica.
Antarctica.
Okay. Well, let's focus on your current experience. So you're with the Maryknoll Missioners in South Sudan. Tell us about Maryknoll for those who aren't familiar. One of the reasons I've shared your columns, Gabe, is because I wanted people to be aware of Maryknoll and to help support financially and in prayer the work that you all do. So maybe tell us a little bit about Maryknoll.
Most people are aware of the priests and the sisters through their Maryknoll magazine. So they started over 100 years ago, and 50 years ago they started the Lay Missioners Society. And
there it is.
Yep. And Maryknoll the Maryknoll Lay is registered in Vatican as a society. So they have legal Catholic Church standing. And this year we're celebrating 50 years. So at the moment, we've got 40 missioners serving in 9 different countries around the world, doing all kinds of stuff: prison ministry, trauma healing, gangs, working with gangs, working in clinics, actually we had somebody working in a diocese. There's one that's managing a retreat center. So all over the world and doing good work. And the office is located in New York. To join, you have to apply. There's an orientation period. There's a prayer period. And then they usually start in January. The terms could be as long as 3 years and renewable.
Hey, and is there a common element to the people who are called to this in terms of age or background, or does it kind of run the gamut from maybe out of high school to retirees who pursue this as a new opportunity?
I think now in the current era, I think most of us are elderly, what you'd call elderly, over 50. But we do have young people who are applying, and the group that's coming through right now is actually quite young. So we do see an increase in younger people, married people who are trying to commit to the Lord.
Sure. And in the gospel, Jesus sends the disciples out 2 by 2. Does that work with Maryknoll, or are you kind of on your own?
I'm kind of a black sheep there, but yes, they're
Okay.
always sent. We pretty much, I think there's only 3 of us that are on our own at the moment. When I came to South Sudan, there were 3 Maryknoll priests, so that was our community. But those 3 priests have since moved on, and I'm left alone. So it's a difficult country. Maryknoll Lay used to be in Haiti, but they had to evacuate because of the violence there. And to me, it's kind of a mystery why no violence has really exploded here in South Sudan yet. So I'm still here.
So I think that's a good segue, Gabe, into talking about where you are. So explain to us, we don't have a map, South Sudan, where is it in relation to, let's say, Egypt? I mean, it's on the south, it's on the east side of the continent.
Yeah.
South of Sudan, south of Sudan.
Yeah, most people know where Egypt is. And if you go directly south of Egypt, you will hit Sudan, which is the country that right now is having a civil war. If you go south of that, you hit South Sudan. Kind of a interesting name for the newest country in the world, 2011. Right. And since the time of independence, they've had great problems. I work in the south part near the Kenyan and Ugandan border. It's an isolated place. It's semi-arid, which means it's dry most of the time. But when it rains, it's muddy and the river is flowing. And so it's a kind of a forgotten part of South Sudan. But ironically, that makes it a bit safer and more stable. We haven't seen too much organized violence until just yesterday.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
Yeah, I just got news that an armed group invaded the capital of Capoeira, and there was fighting, and several soldiers were wounded, and several of them are critical. So you might say I got out just in time.
Wow.
I left on
Wow.
Monday, so it happened on Wednesday.
Is there any rhyme or reason to the violence? Is it ISIS related, or just gangs like in Haiti, or how would you describe that?
Probably at the moment, there's a lot of politics involved, and there's two main characters, the president, who is the SPLM, so it's the Sudanese People's Liberation Movement. But then there's another group that's split away called the SPLM in opposition, IO. Those are the two main combatants, and they're constantly at each other's throats. And because the government is trying to maintain control, they have arrested quite a number of the opposition people, including the vice president who signed the peace accords. So now that trial is actually occurring right now, this week here in Juba. So Juba has armed soldiers and trucks and tanks all over the place. Certain roads are not passable at the moment. And I would suspect a lot of this random violence in various parts of the country is due to the anger over these kinds of political actions that are going on.
Wow, wow. Yeah, so you mentioned that you're in Juba now, the capital of South Sudan.
Yes.
Tell us, Gabe, how did you end up in South Sudan? How did this happen? You mentioned there was some Maryknoll priests there before, but I think it's a little
Yeah.
more interesting of a story than that.
Of course, it's the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit just loves to push you where you least expect it. I worked in Rome when a group when the bishops of South Sudan knew they were going to have independence and knew they needed help. So they made a call to the religious around the world. Solidarity with South Sudan is an intercongregational response to that call. So I was in Rome as their office secretariat. This was in 2008, 2009, 2010. So then I left and went and did other things, actually came home for a number of years. We had some family issues, but I kept in touch with them. So in 2016, I came to South Sudan just to see what they were doing and what had happened with all those plans. So they've got health, agriculture, teacher training, pastoral, and they run this guest house in Juba. So they help the diocese, the bishops all over the country. And I enjoyed that. So it just so happened that the situation at home stabilized. I was able to come. So I went to Maryknoll and I asked them if they wanted to partner. And they were looking to open a new country. And of course, this country has great needs. So it worked that way. But since those 8 years, no other Maryknoll Lay really either was willing or was qualified to come and also work in this country. So for these 8 years, yes, I've been more or less alone when you talk about Maryknoll, but I have never lived alone. I have always lived where I worked and worked where I lived and surrounded by community everywhere I went. So it could be Franciscans, De La Salle, it could be diocesan, it could be right now it's St. Patrick's Missionary. So,
Okay.
and I've
So
worked in four
you really
different places in South
you really
Sudan.
experienced some of the diversity of the church in that
Yes,
way
I have.
too.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So the church here, I would say, is more conservative. The priests would have more power. The people wouldn't really be as involved as they would in the United States in managing church affairs. They're probably not at that level yet. None of these churches are self-sustainable. It's just impossible with the poverty that we have. So you have mission churches and then you have diocesan churches. So they're working together trying to manage and actually recover from the wars, because there was a lot of damage to a lot of structure. So that's why nobody wants to go to war again. Nobody really wants to go, but sometimes things happen. Yeah.
Just seems to be part of I don't know. And
Yeah.
of course, it's not just in South Sudan or Sudan either,
No,
where that's
the whole
the
world.
case.
Yeah.
So tell us about what your life has been like there. You talked that you've been working in a parish school. Talk about that work and what are the challenges of that, as opposed to like we might think of someone working in
Yeah.
a parish school.
So I live in a rather isolated place. Most of the time from the main market, it's a 45-minute motorcycle ride. They have motorcycles as taxis. So I live in a one-room a house apartment. I do have my own bathroom, and that's a good thing because it's difficult. I do have water in my room. That's a luxury for me. I will cook many of my own meals, but I eat lunch at the school, and that's beans and boiled maize. That's really all we eat every single day. I would go to mass every morning at 6 a.m. and then after that is school from about 6:30 to about 5:30, and
Wow.
I come home exhausted. And because you live where you work, people can come and chat or ask help with something, or something might be going on. So sometimes it can be long days, but generally in the evenings, I have time for my meditations, my prayers, and I have a garden, and I was planting trees and growing trees. I had a tree nursery. So those are the things that would be a typical day for me.
What did you plant in your garden?
I actually brought a lot of seeds back from the US, but very few of them actually grew. So I end up with mostly with tomatoes. I'm known for papaya because I planted a lot of papaya all around from seed.
Okay.
And so we do have papaya on the compound now. I planted cassava. I planted what we call kale.
Okay.
And there's an ancient vegetable called amaranth, which grows like a weed here. So all of that I planted. I tried all kinds of things: carrots, onions, potatoes, but
It
not
worked.
not much success. I'm not a farmer either, so
Yeah.
I gave it my best try though.
Yeah. So going back to the school, what did you teach, Gabe, and why did the days last so long?
Yeah, well, in Africa, there's never a hurry.
Uh,
um, we have 12 45-minute sessions throughout each day. I think it's too much for the students, but this is the way they do it. I've taught English, I've taught social studies, I've taught citizenship, I've taught
hmm.
computers, I've taught math, I've taught English, of course, I've taught. And what I really get a joy out of it is when I have spontaneous classes. I taught them about um, revolution versus rotation of the earth. They didn't
Ah,
understand those concepts. I gave a math on percentages and decimals. They didn't understand those concepts. I gave a talk on how to brush your teeth because they were never taught these things. And of course, I'm the librarian now, so I gave them a lecture on how to take care of books, how we mark them, how we check them out, things like that. So those things come up just spontaneously. I'll teach about 12 to 15 hours a day, which is a light load. I'm the oldest person on the compound, so I told Father, don't give me a lot of classes. The library takes a lot of my time.
Sure.
But the other teachers would be teaching about 24 hours in a week, which is a good load. That's a good load right there.
And what's the span? Like how many months is this in session?
Okay, so the South Sudanese education system starts in February. They have 3 terms with 2-week breaks in between the terms. But in South, and at the end of term always has exams. Their national exams for graduation from grade school 8 and from senior high school 4, what we call seniors, is integrated into the curriculum. So whereas in our culture, in our system, it's not part of the school curriculum, here it is. So right now in the term 3, our seniors in the high school are not in classes. They are just studying for exams. That's all they're doing.
Wow.
And I'm really not in favor of that. But again, this is the system. But then we will have all kinds of disturbances throughout the day, week, months. We had a 105-degree weather. It was a heat wave. And the government just canceled classes for 3 weeks, just arbitrarily made that decision. Well, there's no water in the villages. We have water in the school, and we have shade, and we have all those things. But at the same time, yeah,
Gabe.
and we have food. Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
my experience in Haiti is one of the reasons there has to be lunch is that's what gets the kids to come to school is because they'll have something to eat.
That's exactly the same then in South Sudan. A lot of children come because they want to eat. One of the students told me once, this is the first time in my life, this is a 20-year-old student, first time in my life I've eaten 3 meals in a day. And they're the same food every single meal, every single day, but that is a benefit for them. So yes, a lot of, I want to point something else out. A lot of these mission schools are girls only. They have a girls' school and a boys' school. One of the reasons is girls are at risk to early childhood marriage. So what we do is we put them into a school, and now they're not so much at risk. They're protected. And so what that means is they can actually put off that marriage until their body is more mature. And in this case, not our school, but there's a sister St. Patrick's mission school about 3 hours away. Those girls go into the walled community, the walled school, and they don't come out because men are waiting for them. If they come out, they're going to kidnap them and take them off and get them married because they want cows. Girls bring cows. So you often see men with guns coming to primary schools looking for the daughter or the niece and saying, I want her now. And that's because the old man wants cows. So we push and push, but at some point you don't want to get shot. You don't want anybody shot, so you have to let up.
I mean, again, so there's just so many cultural aspects that are part of this experience too. Are most of the kids in the school Christian, or is it open to any children?
We're open to any religion, any person. Because of this, because South Sudan is so behind, I will have high school students who are actually 30 years old.
Wow.
We will see primary students who are 17, 18 years old. They just didn't get a chance to enter at the age. And then once they're in, a lot of those girls, we really, even if their marks are very, very low, we try to keep them in the system to protect against this early childhood marriage. Yeah, so we do that a lot. We still have a lot of married and pregnant girls. And it's by law, if they're pregnant, they have the right to stay in school until the last trimester, and then they give birth, and it's 1 year, and then they can return. And by law, we have to allow them to return. So we have a couple of those in our school already. I'd say out of 50, 60 girls, we have probably 10 that have children. So that's a pretty high percentage, yeah.
So whether it's school or outside of school, what has been the most tell us about living there, Gabe. What's the most you talked a little bit about your apartment, one room apartment. Just what would surprise us most, or just that we can't begin to comprehend about how life has been for you there?
Yeah. I came some year, I've been 5 years in the bush now, and I suddenly realized that I don't really have any intellectual companionship. It's very difficult to have an intellectual conversation with people who are not very educated. And so I end up reading a lot of books and meditating on my own. I found that to be a challenge.
Sure.
People will come to me. For example, I'll just give you an example. The students were asking me, how do you get married in the United States? I said, well, you meet a boy, a girl, and you decide that you're going to get married. They said, how many cows do you have to pay? I said, no cows. And they said, Mr. Gabe, that's impossible. And I said, you've never traveled, have you? Or something like, if in our culture, if somebody helps you, they are beholden to you. They're grateful. They're thankful. But in their culture, they say, you help me once, you have to help me again, and you have to help me again. That's the way their culture is. So that kind of wears on you over time because they're constantly at my door
You're
asking for
helping
things.
them. You're helping
Yeah,
them.
it's your duty to help. And I said, you're right as a Christian, but I can't help
Yeah.
one person all the time. So I try to spread it around. And some of my writings you might have seen, I talked about women strong. I like to help women who are single with children, who are pushing and working hard. And I give them a little boost with some funds that I have left over because my donors are very generous. And I find that that just gets them over the hump and they are doing well, most of them. And
Yeah.
so I praise the Lord for that opportunity. We've sponsored a few students in school. And then, of course, some students come to me and say, Mr. Gabe, I want to work and get some. So I say, yeah, I'll help you that. But what I found was you can't pay them anything until they're done, because as soon as you pay them, they're gone. They won't work anymore.
Well, that's not unique to South Sudan, Gabe, but
Yeah, yeah.
um,
But yeah, I would say that's another challenge. And just the way that things are done here, things move very slowly. Communication is almost non-existent. So I never would know that we're having a staff meeting until maybe 5 minutes before it actually occurs. And then I have no preparation or anything like that. So those are the kind of little things
sure.
day after day that kind of um, students will just get up and walk out of class, or they'll come 20 minutes
Whatever.
late. Yeah, education is just not seen as a real
Yeah.
thing like that. But I've seen improvement there. So I praise the Lord for that. And the Toposa, I think it'll take 3 or 4 generations before things get up to a higher level for them.
What's the language, Gabe? I should know that,
Okay,
but
their language is Toposa, and then the national language is a form of Arabic that they call Juba Arabic. If they were to go to Egypt, they wouldn't understand those people, and those people wouldn't understand them. They don't know classical, and none of them can read it or write it. They
oh,
only speak it. It's amazing. So the
oh,
first language they actually write and read is English.
oh,
It's
wow.
amazing. And
Hmm.
then they learn how to read their own Toposa language.
Wow. Wow.
I'm
Yeah,
overwhelmed by
right.
that.
So do
And
you
then
speak that language, Gabe? You speak that language then?
I speak words. I'm not conversational at all.
Okay.
That's another thing I realized my age. I've studied 7 languages, and this would have been my eighth. Well, I studied Arabic and then I studied Toposa. I couldn't catch either one of them. I'm just over the hill now. It's time for younger people to step up with. My
Sure.
brain is not so flexible anymore.
So we'll get to your pending transition. Just talk a little bit about the physical challenges
Yeah.
of food, water, medical care, etc., or health issues for yourself.
All right. So you can go to a clinic here, but the hygiene wouldn't be the best. And I went to a hospital and I said, I need a typhoid test. He said, we don't have the reagent. I said, okay, just give me the medicine and I'll just take the treatment. He said, we don't have the treatment. And so there's a lot of that missing. Food is missing, health drugs, pharmaceuticals are missing. And so you feel a bit at risk to those things. So my diet has been probably quite poor. I did bring back multivitamins. I don't know if they help. I often and frequently get malaria and typhoid. And I do have the vaccine for typhoid, but it doesn't prevent. It just reduces the symptoms. So you're looking at a man who just spent 2 days, just 2 days ago, I was in the hospital for
Oh my gosh,
severe
Gabe.
typhoid.
Oh
I
my
was
gosh.
severe, yeah.
Wow.
So
I don't even
that's
know
why
what. So Gabe, tell us, what is typhoid? I mean, we hear that
okay,
word.
it's a
What does that mean?
waterborne disease. It's bacteria. It will give you fever and vomiting and diarrhea and all these kind of symptoms. And
Sure.
I was just exhausted. I was just tired. And I thought, it's the end of the term. Maybe that's the reason. Well, when I came to Juba, I got checked and they said, you've got severe. I had 2 types actually. And they said, you have severe typhoid. So they immediately started pumping me with drugs. I feel much, much better now. I have my last injection tonight, right after this interview. And then I'll take pills for the next 10 days. But again, that's kind of normal for everyone here.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the food, fruits and vegetables are very hard to find. We're usually just eating things like pastas and
Beans, you said beans.
boiled maize meal, and they will kill a chicken or goat every week. I eat at the Father's house, and so I do get meat and some vegetables there. But for myself, I eat a lot of those Chinese ramen noodles.
Oh.
That would be my evening meal. But at the school, it's beans and posho. But this is much better than when I was in Coron, which is like a 12-hour drive from the main market. We didn't have any food. There were times when I went to the dining hall and she said, there's no food. And so you just go home and go to
Wow.
sleep, take a
Wow.
drink of water. I boil
So
my water.
you had
Yeah,
to
I
boil
boil my
water?
water. I filter it because it's filled with salt, which I think is also affecting my health. And then I filter it through a catadine and a charcoal filter. So it's pretty clean water. But when you're taking a shower, that's water right out of the tank. So it can get on your lips, your nose, your
Yeah.
eyes. Yeah. So there isn't a whole lot of prevention there. And then what was the other question you asked me?
Oh, I think that covered it pretty well. I'm afraid. Yeah. Wow.
I do have this cough, which won't go away. I got it from the students, and I don't know what it is, but I'm going to get that checked in Kenya when I go. So
Okay.
next week I'll have
Okay.
that checked out.
I won't even bring up COVID. I'm sure that could be an entire conversation on its
Yeah,
own
it
way, how
could. Yeah,
that.
we went through the same thing the whole world went through.
Oh, wow, wow. So you mentioned you're in Juba. You're kind of transitioning out of the country, Gabe. So
Mhm.
just talk a little bit about what led to this decision and what's going to be happening now.
A long time ago, I was in a situation, China, and I just started to notice that I was becoming very negative, and the Columban priests and the Maryknoll sisters told me, you need a break. You have to take a break. They said 8 to 10 years. I never forgot that. So here I've been 8 years now, and I've noticed that I'm having trouble sleeping. I'm critical. I'm sarcastic. I'm by nature, that's my way anyway. So I said maybe it's time for a break. So after many discussions with family, Maryknoll leadership, and prayer and meditation, I've decided to take a medical sabbatical, a medical leave of absence. I will be home for that reason. They tell me it takes a while to get into the doctors and stuff. I do need cataracts. There's a lot of things I've been putting off. So I'm going to try to get myself healthy again. see what's going on with the family. But I'll still be active with Maryknoll in the United States. They have a very large program in El Paso for immigrants. So
Okay.
that's where they're doing the orientation right now. So they might be asking me to go and speak with those who are planning on going overseas.
It'll probably take several months or more just for your body to
Probably.
regulate itself, huh?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. What meal are you looking forward to most?
My sister is a master chef, so she will have something prepared for me when I get home.
And whatever
Yeah,
it is, it'll be good, huh? It'll,
yeah. When I go to Kenya, usually the first thing I have is pizza. Right out of the airport, they'll take me to a pizza place, and I'll have a pizza, and I'll be fine. So,
sure,
yeah.
sure. So when will you get back to Wisconsin?
October 30th, I
Okay,
think. It's October 30th. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Even the cool fall weather will be a relief, won't it? I suspect.
Yeah, it's I was it's over 100 degrees difference in temperature if I come home in the wintertime. But we heat everything, so it wasn't so bad the last
Right.
time I was home. But it'll be all right. I'll be
That's
fine
right.
with
You were
that.
home in January, so I'll just share this little thing. I've
Yeah.
been wanting to do this with Gabe for a long time, and then he had written that he was going to be coming home. So I thought, well, that would be a good time to do this, except that he pointed out that the Wi-Fi where he out in the country where he lives or his family lives, they don't have Wi-Fi, so that
Oh
wasn't even an option when he was back in the United States. We can talk to him in South Sudan, but not in rural
yeah.
Portage County.
Ironically, yeah.
Yeah. I'll say what I think the last time I saw you, Gabe, was at the Quick Trip in Stevens Point on Division Street. I think I might have already come back to Wausau or I'd already moved to Wausau, but was back
Yeah,
in
I think
Stevens
you
Point
were.
for
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
And it was the St. Stephen's Festival. And I wanted to buy raffle tickets for it. So I gave Gabe the money to buy my raffle tickets, and I think I won $1,000,
Yeah.
which I didn't share with Gabe, but I didn't keep it either. I donated it to Pacelli Catholic Schools. So anyway,
Yeah.
Gabe was my winning raffle ticket buyer.
I just might say one thing. One of my joys is these women who are working so hard on the streets. And what they have is little tea shops. They have little, they'll fry up dough
You've
and they'll
written about
sell them.
them. You've written about
Yeah,
that.
I've written
Yeah.
about this several times. And actually, I'm going to write about it again.
Okay.
But what I do is I walk by their shop and I take $100 bills and I just stick it in a pot or something that they have there. They don't even know I did it. And I
Mhm.
walk away and I make sure they don't
Nice.
see me. And I've done this several times. Now I'm back in Juba 4 months later, and you wouldn't believe the difference in those places where I've helped them.
Oh,
They've
oh,
expanded. They have more food. They have more. They have coffee. They have chairs. They have shades, and it just that's all they needed was a
yeah,
little help.
yeah,
And I said, I would like to see their face when they find $100 bill in
yeah.
their
Wouldn't
box,
you?
tin
Yeah.
can. Yeah. So
Mm.
I just enjoy that very much. My latest letter was Matrine, who is out in Riwoto where I live, and she's just a wonderful woman. And I'll actually probably be sending another one this weekend. It's a woman with 4 children, and they're just doing great. And I really, that's to me is what mission is about, just helping people get over their challenges.
And being a secret.
Robin Hood, it's Robin
Yeah,
Hood.
right, right. Well, Gabe, I
Yeah.
think that is the best note to leave on. So wonderful,
Yeah.
positive experiences and witnessing there. So
Praise the Lord.
thank you very much. First of all, thank you for your witness of living the gospel in a complicated, difficult, and sometimes dangerous place.
Mm.
Thank you also for sharing that experience with us over these years, because that's really, I mean, I think it's probably important for you to be able to share it with others as well, but it's
Mhm.
just so wonderful to be able to see how the gospel is lived, how the church
Yeah.
manifests itself, in other places. So
People ask me, why do you do it, or how has it helped you? And that, I'll tell you what, the Bible for me is real. It's alive. I read that Bible and I'm living that. And my prayer life has really improved. It's deepened. Faith has deepened. So that to me is what it's all about, the most important thing. You know, we think we're evangelizing people, but in fact, they're evangelizing us as well. And if you read St. Paul's letters, you will see that St. Paul himself was being encouraged and inspired by the very people that he was working with. So it's the way God works. It's the way the Holy Spirit works. As a final note, I would say if you would like me to come to St. Anne's at any time, that's an easy trip for
Well,
me.
so it's St. Anne's Resurrection and St. Michael, Gabe.
Okay,
Um,
no problem.
yeah, I was actually just thinking the same thing that I would ask you when we finished up, but that would be
Sure.
wonderful. So we'll be in touch when you're going to be back. Are you going to be
Yeah.
back in central Wisconsin for a little while?
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know what Maryknoll has planned, but probably November I'll be busy. I might have to go to El Paso. I might have to go to New York. November, December, something like that. And then after that,
Okay.
I'm more or less
Okay.
just
Well, let's be in touch. Let's be in touch.
okay. Very
Thank
good.
you. Thank
God
you very
bless.
much for talking, for your time, and hope all your travels, your transition, everything go well. God bless,
Thank
Gabe.
you, Father Tom. God bless you too. Bye bye, everyone.